Okay, hello everyone. Hopefully this demonstration will work. Um, so as you all know, we need to do the project. I should be able to see it somewhere here. Okay, so there we go. So here's the code. So the way I am doing this is basically I'm running a virtual machine on my PC. Here you can see one of them. So my suggestion for you, and I can add a link somewhere about this, but basically how to create, or let's do like this: create virtual machine Ubuntu desktop. So if you just Google this, basically any tutorial that you see should be fine for you. Basically what you need is you need to have the Ubuntu virtual machine. It can be actually any Linux machine as well. You could probably do this locally. I mean, if you already are running Linux, that this what am I going to show you here should work. Also, if you're using Mac, it should also work. On Windows, it can be done, but it's different. So I'm not going to show you that. So that's why I either use the virtual machine or use the Linux native or use the Mac. If you are using Windows, then you are on your own. One of you asked me whether it's possible to use code blocks. I think it is. I didn't try it, but I didn't see a reason why it wouldn't be possible. So this is basically just one of the instructions. So it's just, oh, this is a VMware workstation. So let's not use that one. So add here. So create virtual box VM. You should be able to see my screen, hopefully. If you cannot see my screen, then I'm talking this to no one. So here is the one of the tutorials. You just saw me how I actually Googled that. There are probably videos for that as well. Okay, here you go. So just install VirtualBox. Once you install VirtualBox, you need to have the image for the machine. So here he already has this image. Probably he is mentioning it somewhere. So this is one of the tutorials that you can use. I think it will work, any of them. If you have issues, just let me know and I can help you with this part if you really have issues after running one of these tutorials. So somewhere here, yeah, so he's mentioning here, he says select the Ubuntu ISO file to mount. Okay, note that if you have not downloaded 64-bit Ubuntu ISO, you can check out this page, and that should be it. So basically you just need download. Oh, okay, probably he's linking, yeah, so the official installation instructions. So if you go there, that's the download page for Ubuntu. You just need to download it from whatever. There you go, Ubuntu desktop 18.05.04 is fine. And then you can use these instructions. And here he's just showing how to create a virtual machine. And there you go, installing the system, and you should be up and running quite quickly. I think if you're running SSD, this should not take more than 15 to 30 minutes. If you're running, if you're not running SSD, you probably, this will probably take maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour. Just to copy the files and all of that. And there you go. So the important thing is, I mean, I'm using the server here, but you can use the desktop. That's probably easier. So another thing, yeah. So since you'll probably be running this on laptops, the only tip that I can give you. So here, if you go to settings, which probably I will not be able to. Okay, let's use one of the existing virtual machine. So never mind. So just go to settings here once you put it up and running. And if you go to system, basically you can set up how much RAM will this virtual machine be able to use, and also how many processors. So by default, it is using super low RAM and also only one CPU. So check how many CPUs you have, max this out like as much as you can. So here I can do 4. probably like, I mean, even two will be better than one, because you're going to run desktop machine. If you're going to do that, then it will take up a lot of resources, and also RAM. So yeah, it's here. Just basically put it as much as possible. And my tip for you, so when you start using this, so when you start the virtual machine, your desktop virtual machine will definitely be slower than your original operating system. What my suggestion is, don't use the original operating system at all. So like just start the virtual machine, and then use the virtual machine for everything, for Googling, for like, typing code and all of that. I think it should not be that slow. And that's why I'm telling you, like, put these resources to maximum, close everything that you have on your original operating system, and use the virtual machine. I think you should be good to go. Also, this is just another like approach. What could you probably do is you could install dual boot operating system like Linux. If you're comfortable with that, just do that. Maybe you already have that somewhere. Basically, these instructions that I'm going to show you will work on any Linux box. So I mean, whatever you can, however you can get the Linux box, you should be good to go. What I wanted to say is, yeah, that should be it. Well, probably it would be possible to use the original like host, the host operating system, the one you have right now, and run the virtual machine on it, but to type code, for example, on the host operating system, and then to copy it somehow to the like guest operating system. You can use that if just try whatever works best for you. That might slow you down a bit, but maybe you will have better performance when typing code or something like that. I can show you how I'm doing it at the end. So having said that, yeah, so I have created this virtual machine. It should be empty as far as I know. So I'm going to look for it right now. It's called demonstration. Yeah, so I have created it here. Let me just find it. Yeah, here it is. I'll just log in there. So if you're using Ubuntu desktop, what you can do is you can just run terminal application, and you will have what I have here. You should probably know all of that, but this is just me, making sure I'm not missing anything. I want to find out the IP address. So here it is 105. Okay, so let's go there. This is how I'm avoiding using that small screen that you have by default. So let's go. Okay, so if I do SSH, username should be fine. So 105. So this should not work for you. You can set it up this way, but by default it doesn't work, as I said. So once you run the terminal application, you will have what I have here right now. Okay, so to verify, this is the operating system that I'm using, so Ubuntu 18.05. So I skipped all of the installation part and all of that. This is a server edition, as I said, no desktop here, but that doesn't really matter here, because we are creating a shell, right? So we don't need desktop. So the next step, let me just see. So this should be empty, as I said. Okay, we are good. So okay, so the next step here would be to basically get the code from GitLab, right? Because it's in GitLab right now. So if you go to GitLab, where we have the code, it's here. So as I said, the blueprint branch, so master branch is empty right now because no one really, oh, it's actually here. So use the master branch as a starting point. I said that somewhere. So if you go to clone here, so there's a clone button, it should give you the URL. So the thing is, easiest probably to use HTTP. You can use SSH, but then you need to add SSH key somewhere here to a profile on GitLab. That's fine. It's easy. There's a tutorial how to do that, but I'll leave that up to you if you want to do that way. If maybe it will be a bit faster, but it's basically the same. If you use HTTP, you will be able to use the username and password directly from here, and that's why maybe that will be easier. So let's see. So what I will do now is I will clone the repository, and that's how you do it. So you just type git clone. You can find basic git command somewhere on the internet as well, and you paste the link that is provided there. So if you clone it, as I said, this is a small repository, so this should be quite quick. here you go. So you should have a file there. There you go. So if you, there we go. So you can run the code from here right now. The thing is, so you need to compile this code, right? Because this is a C code. You only have C, README, and Makefile. Makefile will be used for compilation, and shell C is actually what is compiled. So what am I going to show you right now here is okay. What is this? Yeah. So what am I going to show you here is basically the instructions that have been provided for the lab. So I'm just going to basically run them, and that's it. This one does not apply to us, so you can skip it. So basically, the only thing you need actually to do is run make, and make will trigger what is already defined in the make file here. So it will trigger all of this, and this is basically how we compile our shell, right? So if you just run make, as I said, I do expect errors here. There we go. So this is the first thing that you will see, probably make command not found. This is because, and also I want to emphasize, so what I did here, so here I use git. So git comes pre-installed with Ubuntu. If you don't have it, just run like sudo apt install git. You should be good to go. Just a password. There we go. So we already have git. Nothing is installed. You can just use this command. You can also Google how to install git. But here, as you can see, where is it? Yeah, so make command is not found. So if you try sudo apt install make, I think let's try with that. So that should install the make, but as you can see, what is it? It's only installing make. Okay, so what I assume is we will have errors again. So if you do the same thing again, so if you run make, okay, so GCC command not found. This is basically the C compiler, right? So it cannot find this command. So if you run sudo apt install GCC, and this GCC command comes from the make file. So here we go, where we are running it somewhere here. Yeah, so this is the command GCC, and here it is used. So basically we are running GCC, we don't have it. And this is basically the same thing. So maybe make is failing for you, but literally if you type GCC, it wouldn't work. You would get the same error. You can see that it's the same error as here. So GCC command not found, here command not found. So that's the reason. So if you run sudo apt install GCC, yeah, that should do it. So just install, wait some time. This is, yeah, maybe 180 megabytes. Oh, actually it's just 30 megabytes to download. Should be pretty quick. And storage for the virtual machine should not matter here, because it's a shell. We are not using a lot of disks. So I think 20 or 30 gigabytes should be fine. Even lower, probably try it with that. Maybe 15 or 10. I don't know what is the minimum for Ubuntu, but what is important is memory and CPU if you want really to use the desktop. If you don't, if you want to do some other way, then it's fine. So here we go. So yeah, so what we did, okay, so we installed GCC. Now if you try again, try run make, there we go. So now we had no errors. So that means basically compilation has been successful. So if you type, basically if you list all of the files, now you will see that we have shell O, which is shell, I think, object. It stands for object. This is created during compilation, and you have shell. And this is basically the executable that has been created, and this is what we need to make. This is our shell, right? So if you go up there somewhere to basically, yeah, if you just see what is in makefile, I think somewhere here, yeah. So basically, this is how we define the target, and this is why it is actually creating shell. I think if we rename this to something else, we would actually get some other name. We would not have shell anymore. Or actually, yeah, that should be it. So now we have a shell, right? So that should be fine. Let me just verify something. Okay, very good. So at this moment, you should be able to run your shell. The only thing that might be an issue is here you see that you see all these access. So this basically means that both owner and the group and everyone else on the system can execute this file. So that should be default. It should be the same for you as well. In case it's not, you would basically add the execute flag to the file. So this is how you would do it. And then now it is the same, right? So now it's the same, you know, but for example, what can happen to you is that it actually looks like this. So if you run this, see, this is how it might look like. And then the command that we need to run next, this one, will not work, right? Because it says permission denied. This basically means no permissions for execution. And execution is basically running it, right? So what we want to do, as I said, this one, as I said, this should not be necessary, but in case you get error like this might be the reason. And that should be it. So if I run this command, this is basically running this shell, this executable file, the binary, call it whatever you want. There we go. We have a shell, right? So this particular shell is what we have right now. And this is what has been created by those people at the university, whoever created that. And what we need to do is we need to improve this. We need to improve this based on the requirements that were provided in our, how is it called? In our project, basically project definition. It's on GitLab as well. So so ls here didn't work because this particular shell does not work with global commands. You need to put in the path. So bin ls will work, and here we go. So basically you can list all of the files the same way we can do it from the original shell, which we are using by default. So yeah, that's about it. That's how you run it. This is, as I said, this is one way. Wow, what did I do? Okay, so this is one way to do it. You can just exit. That's it. Now the thing is, since we need to modify the code, right? Since we need to modify the code, every time you modify the code, you need to compile this again. So, for example, if I wanted to modify the code here, I could use shell. So if you try, so I'm using VI. You can use any other editor, and if you're using a desktop, you can just install Atom or whatever you are using inside the virtual machine. That should be easy as well, and just run it. If you just Google install Atom Ubuntu, you should get the result. So what I want to do here now is what I want to do here now is just show you. Yeah, so if I try to modify the binary with VI in this case, I will get garbage basically, because it's not possible to modify the binary. What you need to modify is basically the shell C file, which is a C file. Here we go. So let's say that I think maybe there is prompt somewhere. Is there? No. Let's see, how is it getting this? So I'm trying to modify this part here. And this is actually one of the tasks as far as I remember. So it's saying pid equals. Let's try to Google shell, because that should be hard coded. So set number. Okay. So prompt, no, shell. Let's see, shell PID. Oh, okay. There it was, I think. Shell PID, get PID. Oh, hey, here you go. So this is how the, every line is defined here. So let's say I want to modify this not to say shell. Let's say I want to modify it to say, I don't know, digit with capitals. So, and if I save, and if I run the shell again, I have, so it says shell here still, right? So if I run the command, it basically is just an error. It still says shell all the time, right? So that we didn't do anything. So as I said, what we need to do is we need to compile it again. So I just hit Control D to exit. You can exit with Control D, or you can exit with exit. It's the same, or almost the same. So what we want to do here is we need to compile it again. So as I saw here, there's a clean file. And what is it doing? It's basically removing all the objects and all of the binaries and exe as well. So let's try with that. Make clean. Yeah, so it's removing all of these. And now if you ls, we are only left with shell C again. So if you run make again, here we go. And now we should have the binary again. And if you run the shell, there we go. And we have digit, right? So this is just me demonstrating you one thing, how you can modify the code. So you can use any editor you want, but you need to compile it every time. Also, what we want to do is please make sure that you do not push the binaries to like GitLab repository. So what I want you to do is before you push every time, just please run make clean. So you only are left with basically these files that you pulled from the repository, and then just push that. We should be good. Even if you push these, it's not a big issue, but we need to remove them basically. We don't want this, because this, if I just send you this will not work for your computer. Even maybe it will work for the same virtual machine, but even that I'm not totally sure. So if you're running Windows and you run this on Linux or vice versa, or Mac or whatever, or even different Linux distributions, this will probably not work. And even different. So if one of you has AMD processor and one of you has Intel processor, I'm quite convinced it would not work on these. That's about it. Also, so the important thing, and I can give you some quick tips here. So if you look at here, I'm on Git, like I'm on the master branch. So what I want really to do is, and what we should really do is, so create branch from command line. And so here we go, how you do that. And I'm just literally just random tutorial, but all of them are the same. So here we go. This is how you create a new branch. So let's say, and I already modified, oh, what am I doing here? Okay, so I need this. Okay, so what I want to create a new branch now. So we don't want to push to master. You will actually not be able to. You need to push to your feature branch. So let's say my feature branch is called Muhammad task 1, whatever. You name it whatever you want. And you can push everything on one branch. It's okay, because we don't have many tasks. There we go. And now if you run git branch, you will see that we are on that branch. And now if I try to push, and if you see here, I already have, whoa. This is a mistake. So let's try like this, grab digit shell. So you will see that this is on the, this is different, right? This is not on the master branch. We modified this during this demonstration, right? So what I want to do is I want to add it. So if you run git status, you will see that this is modified. So I want to add it. There we go. You add it. And if you run git status, you see that it's modified, but now it's green. It will be committed. So I run git commit and this is just like adding different prompt. And you can basically just please make sure that these are, nice, don't just put, new code or new code 2 or new code 3. Just put something meaningful. It's not doesn't have to be pretty. And that's about it. Oh, so, okay. So we got the good error, which I wanted to show you. So it says, please tell me who you are, because we just cloned it. Our repository and project now it's public and everyone can clone it. But no one can push to it. So what we want to do is we want to run this, and you can do this only once, and you should be good. But anyways, even if you need to remove it, so you're good. So I'm going to push the to put my email. This is who I am. This is my GitLab. So the GitLab email, the one that you created a user for, and name. This is, I think, optional, but let's just do, oh no, sorry, this is username. So my username is Demahum. I didn't know this is username. So this will be your GitLab username. You can check it out on your GitLab profile. And now we should be good. So what was the last command I tried? Git commit. There we go. And now if you run git status, nothing will be there. But if you run git push, boom. Okay, so another error we got is the current has no upstream branch. What this means is that this branch has not been created on the GitLab repository yet. This is only local. So we just need, basically you can just copy and paste this command. This actually creates the branch in the GitLab repository as well. So if you hit enter, okay, it will ask you for the username again. I think this is for the authentication now. So it's asking me for the password, and you can do that. And there we go. We pushed it. So if you go to our repository again, if you refresh, master is still the same, right? But if you click here, there you go. So we have Muhammad task now, and that's your branch. What we will do after this, after everyone has their branch and after everyone builds what they need to build, their task, we will merge all of these. So you can just create merge request, and this is me just, you know, like doing the demo, submit, and this should basically show us the differences. Here we go. So this is what was on master. This was what is on the new branch now. And this will actually allow us to, you know, see, do we have any conflicts? What do we need to resolve them? And yeah, that's basically it. So conflicts, and to resolve them, and basically to combine all of the features that we create into one shell. And that should be it, really. So now you code again. So if you run git push now, nothing will happen. I don't know why it is asking me. Probably there's a way to save this. Anyways, so you can configure it. So you can just Google quick git tutorial, and you should be good to go. So everything up to date. This is the message I wanted to show you. So if I would do a new thing again, so I would do it all over again, right? So I modify the code, blah, 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 never mind. I save it. I need to compile it. So compile it. This is not the command. Just you would do what I showed you already. Once I compile it, I see it works. I run make clean to make sure nothing is in the repository, and assuming that I'm already on the branch, and I should be. So once you are on the branch and once everything is set up, you don't need to do this all the time. So you just need to compile, run, and at the end you can just push, and that's it. So again, I would run git status. So you can have multiple files here. So then you would do all of them, or one by one, or whatever. So shell, and then git status again. So I need git commit message, another commit, whatever. There we go, another, and yeah, and then again push. So do I want to push now here? Yeah, okay, it's fine. So there we go. It's now not okay. It's asking me again, but you got the idea, I think. That's about it. So good luck. Okay, authentication failed. Probably I made a mistake when running. Type in the password. Okay, here we go. And if you go here, this merge request should actually be updated now because I pushed on the same branch. Here we go. This is my garbage that I just typed. That's about it. So that's everything I wanted to show you. Please ask any questions you might have. I can help you out. You know, try to do this on your own. Just Google basically whatever you cannot solve. And if you're really stuck, just ping me. And I don't know if this is really slow for you. For example, if you try all of this, and if you cannot work effectively, you know, if it's laggy or something like that, ping me. I can show you another approach. You can probably try it as well. That involves creating a server which actually uses much less resources, and then you can run the code locally. But every time you want to compile it, you would actually need to copy over from your original machine to the virtual machine. You would need to copy your new changes, and then to compile it on the original machine. And that should also work without like GUI, you know, heavy lifting and all of that. That's about it. So as I said, this could be probably done on Windows. I don't even have Windows, so I can't even show you, and I didn't even try. This works for me, and it should be good. You should be able to use code blocks. If you are using code blocks, you should be able just to, let me think. You should be able just to like copy whatever is in shell C. So you should be able to copy all of this in code blocks as a new project, new file, and then click compile. How you would do we have a main function here? Yeah, we do. So you'll probably have the input in that, you know, code block small window at the bottom. I don't know if it will work really. It should. I didn't see any reason why it shouldn't, but I didn't try it. So, you know, this is what I tried. That's about it. So yeah, go on. Good luck. Take your tasks. See how it goes. Try at least to run this and see whether you can. You know, you saw how I just modified the prompt. One of the tasks here is to modify the prompt to print current working directory, and you have pwd, which is, you know, current working directory. So you can use that. Anyways, maybe there is a system call we can run, like get pwd or something like that. I don't know if that exists. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully this was useful. I'm going to stop the recording and hopefully this will work. Yeah, good luck.